back to the channel. I hope everyone is doing well. So in today's lesson, for you guys who are watching this tutorial, it's going to be very basic tutorial. Actually, I have decided to also start a new series where I'm going to learn to beginners, how to start with Xcode from scratch. Okay, so in today's lesson we are simply going to see how we can use the text object, okay, with SwiftUI. Okay, so if you worked with UIKit before, maybe the text control in SwiftUI is very similar to UI label in UIKit. Okay, it's a view for you to display one or multiple lines of text. This text control is non-editable, but is useful for presenting read-only information on screen. Okay, so for example, if you want to present an on-screen message, you can use text to implement it. Okay, so in this lesson I'll show you how to work with text to present information. You'll also learn how to customize the text with different colors, fonts, backgrounds, and apply rotation effects. Okay, so first of all, fire up Xcode and create a new Xcode project using the simple view app template. Okay, so here we are going to select single view app and then type the name of the project. So it will be text en, for instance. Okay, for me, make sure to be in Swift and the user interface is SwiftUI. Okay, click next and choose a folder to create the project. So once you save the project, Xcode should load the content view.swift file and display a design preview canvas. Okay, so press resume. Okay, so if you can't see the canvas, you can go up to the Xcode menu and choose editor. So here I'm going to select iPhone 11 Pro Max. The sample code generated in content view already shows you how to display a single line of code. Okay, here. So you initialize a text and pass it with the text to display like this, hello world. Okay, so in SwiftUI you can change the properties of a control by calling methods that are known as modifiers. Okay, let's say you want to bold the text, you can use the modifier named font weight and specify your preferred font weight like this. Okay, so here press dot font weight, just like that, this one, and then inside write bold, just like that. Okay, and here we can also write my name is Farouk. So you access the modifier by using the dot syntax. Whenever you type a dot, Xcode will show you the possible modifiers or values you can use. Okay, for example, you will see various font weight options when you tap a dot in the font weight modifier here. Okay, just like that. You can choose bold to bold the text. If you want to make it even bolder, use heavy or black. Okay, just like that, for instance. Cool. So by calling font weight with the value heavy, for instance, it actually returns you with a new view that has a heavier text. Okay, what's interesting in SwiftUI is that you can further change this new view with other modifiers. Say you want to make the heavy text a little bit bigger, you can write the code like this, font, just like that, and write title. Okay, cool. Since we may change multiple modifiers together, we usually write the code above in the following format. Okay, just like that. Okay, so the functionality is the same, but I believe you'll find the code above more easy to read. We will continue to use this coding convention for the rest of the tutorial and my whole tutorials. Okay, then the font modifier lets you change the font properties. In the code above, we specify to use the title font type in order to enlarge the text. Okay, SwiftUI comes with several built-in text styles, including title, large title, body, etc. If you want to further increase the font size, replace title by large title. Okay, here. Okay, so you can also use the font modifier to specify the font design. Let's say you want the font to be rounded. You can write the font modifier like this. System, okay, and select this one. Rewrite large title, and here rounded, for instance. Okay, so here you specify to use the system font with large title text style and rounded design. The preview canvas should immediately respond to the change and show you the rounded text. Okay, in case you want to use a fixed size font, you can write the line of code like this. For instance, here you can write just like that. Okay, this tells the system to use a fixed font size of 20 points. As said, you can continue to change other modifiers to customize the text. Now let's change the font color. To do that, you can use the foreground color modifier. Okay, so here foreground color and select maybe red. Okay, the foreground color modifier accepts a value of color. Here we specify to use a red, which is a built-in color. Okay, while I prefer to customize the properties of a control using code, you can also use the design canvas to edit them. Okay, hold the command key and click the text to bring a pop-over menu. Choose show SwiftUI inspector, and then you can edit the text font properties here. Okay, so the color, the weight, the font, etc., even the text here. Okay, so by default all text are displayed using the system font. If you want to use other fonts, you can replace the following line of code. Okay, this one by changing system by custom. Okay, and here we are going to write Helvetica new, for instance, just like that, with a size of 25. Okay, so instead of using system, the code above use custom and specify the preferred font name. Okay, so text supports multiple lines by default, so it can display a paragraph of text without using any additional modifiers. So replace the code with the following. Okay, so you can write whatever you want. I'm going to change it by that. Okay, which is a random text that doesn't mean anything. Okay, you can find it on Google by writing lorem ipsum. Okay, it's well known by UI UX designers. Okay, so you're free to replace the paragraph of text with your own value. Just make sure it's long enough. Once you made the change, the design canvas should render a multi-line text label. Okay, so to align the text in center, insert the multi-text alignment modifier and set the value to center like this. Okay, so here multi-line text alignment, and here the value is center. Cool. In some cases you may want to limit the number of lines to a certain number. You can use the line limit modifier to control it. Okay, so here is an example. Line limit of 3. Okay, by default the system is set to use tail truncation. Okay, to modify the truncation mode of the text, you can use the truncation mode modifier and set its value to head or middle like this. So here head, for instance, just like that. Okay, so earlier I mentioned that the text control displays multiple lines by default. The reason is that the SwiftUI framework has set a default value of nil for the line limit modifier. You can change the value of line limit to nil and see the result. Okay, so here, just like that. Okay, so normally the default line spacing is good enough for most situations. In case you want to alter the default setting, you can adjust the line spacing by using the line spacing modifier. Okay, so here, line spacing, and write 10, it's like that. Okay, as you see, the text is too close to the left and right side of the edges. To give it some more space, you can use the padding modifier, which adds some extra space for each side of the text. Insert the following line of code after line spacing modifier. So here, just like that. Okay, cool. So the SwiftUI framework provides API to let you easily rotate the text. You can use the rotate effect modifier and pass the rotation degree like this. Okay, if you insert the above line of code after padding, you will see the text is rotated by 45 degrees. Okay, by default the rotation happens around the center of the text view. If you want to rotate the text around a specific point, say the top left corner, okay, here, you can write the code like this. So here, okay, just like that. Okay, we pass an extra parameter anchor to specify the point of the rotation. Not only you can rotate the text in 2D, SwiftUI provides a modifier called rotation 3D effect that allows you to create some amazing 3D effect. Okay, the modifier takes in two parameters, rotation angle and the axis of the rotation. Say you want to create a perspective text effect, you can write the code like this. So here, rotation 3D effect, here it will be degrees 50 for instance. Okay, here press enter, here it's gonna be 1, here 0, and here 0 as well. Okay, so with just a line of code we already recreate the Star Wars perspective text. Hey. So you can further insert the following line of code to create a drop shadow effect for the perspective text. Okay, so here maybe change the color to blue. Okay, and then here shadow, this one. Okay, the color will be red, the radius 2, and then 0 and 15, just like that. Okay, the shadow modifier will apply the shadow effect to the text. All you need to do is specify the color and radius of the shadow. Optionally, you can tell the system the position of the shadow by specifying the X and Y values. Okay, so I hope you enjoy creating this user interface with SwiftUI. Okay, the declaration syntax of SwiftUI made the code more readable and easier to understand. Okay, so as you have experienced, it only takes a few lines of code in SwiftUI to create fancy text in 3D style. Okay guys, that's all for today's. So I hope you enjoyed the lesson. Give it a thumbs up and I see you in the next lesson. Bye bye.